The Utrecht pattern is very similar to the Cushing pattern, other than the bites are taken at an angle rather than parallel to the incision. The pattern still is an inverting pattern and is mostly used for very thick tissue such as the uterus of a cow. The Cushing pattern is started with a V shape where the needle enters close to the incision and exits far away from the incision. Generally, you also want to start your knot away from the incision or a little bit in front of the incision so that you completely invert the tissue and bury the knot. Notice the first bite was a backhand and the second was a forehand, and all subsequent bites should be forehands. In this video, a surgeon's throw is placed, and you can see how the tissue nicely inverts. Subsequent bites are taken with the needle entering away from the incision and exiting towards the incision, but not going through the incision edge, so that you allow for inversion of the tissue. Each bite that's taken is dependent on the type of tissue that is being sutured. The thicker the tissue, the bigger the bite. Generally, you also have a bigger needle in that case as well. For smaller tissue, then you would take smaller bites that are closer together. You can see how the tissue is inverting and covering the suture completely as the pattern is being placed. The end of the pattern is performed by taking a far to close bite on one side and then a close to far bite opposite, so that you create a loop that is close to the incision line on both ends, and then take a bite back far to close, very similar to burying a knot in any other kind of pattern. So you have all of your loops that are close together, or all of your strands that are going to create the knot close together. And then you would pull the last loop that you made through. And basically at the end you make an A shape, at the beginning you make a V shape, and tie the knot, and you see that the knot buries very nicely in this pattern as compared to others.